Hello, 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 hello. Uh, Today I felt like talking about what I consider to be my favorite manga. Now, it's not going to be the most focused thing or whatever. I'm just going to, I have a lot of thoughts in my head when it comes to this manga. And, I just want to talk about it because I really like talking about it, and that's that. So, in order to talk about it, I need to talk about other things. Uh, so in middle school, I had, it was that was around the time when sixth grade was when I was first really getting into anime. Like I watched all the episodes of the original Naruto. No, I will not watch Naruto Shippuden. I know it's people have said that it's better, but I watched through all of Naruto, and when I finished it, I was just like, why did I watch through all of Naruto? I felt like I wasted huge chunks of my life watching Naruto, Even though I loved it, it just sometimes a show is too long, if you know what I mean, or whatever. Um, but I think it was 8th grade or whatever that I stumbled upon two different anime. Beelzebub and Sinew. I've never known how to pronounce it, which both of them, I found them around the same time. Of course, there are a whole bunch of different other anime that I was watching. Uh, I watched a whole lot of Crunchyroll in school because, for the most part, I didn't need audio. It gave me something to watch when there was nothing to do, or whatever. I could watch it anywhere, at any place, kind of thing. Because it's not English. It just had subtitles, which is awesome. But whatever. Uh, And here's the thing, I don't go to either I read the manga or I watch the anime. That's how I've always been. There are very few that I've gone from anime to the manga. It's more common for me to read the manga and then go to the anime than it is for me to go from the anime to the manga. Not to mention, anytime I do go from the manga to the anime, I'm always disappointed. It's inevitable. Whereas when you go from the anime to the manga, you usually have more content because they do, it's the original work. That's how it works with most things or whatever. Like a film based on a movie, if you go to the book, you're not going to be disappointed. If you go to the from the book to the movie, you're going to be disappointed somewhere. uh, the best example I have for this would be Midori Days. Now, I found Midori Days when I was looking up, a list of the weirdest anime or manga or whatever, and I ended up reading the manga. Don't ask me why I ended up reading the manga and not watching the anime first. That's just what happened. And I fell in love with that manga. Then I watched the anime and I was pissed because it was such a good, you know, man, it was such a good little romance manga, whatever, fuck. The anime was shit. My brother watched the anime. He's never read the manga or whatever. And, you know, I explained a couple of things that disappointed over it, but he was like, it's fine. It's like, that's the thing. If you don't know what you're missing out, you're not missing it out. And then if you experience the thing that you're missing out after you've missed out, well, then you've not missed out on anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, you know? Anyway. But, so there are these two anime that I went on to the manga, Beelzebub and Sinew. Both of which were became some of my favorites of all time. Uh, the only reason I don't include the Gray Man on that list of things that have gone to the manga, because I watched through all that there was on Netflix, and Netflix didn't have shit. I don't know if they've added any seasons over time or whatever, but they only had like the first 2 seasons or something like that. I can't remember how much it had. Uh, so I went to the manga because I wanted more of it because I really liked it. And then when I went to the manga, I hated life. Um, I should make a video on DeGrayman because I have feelings on DeGrayman, and that's all there is to say on that matter. We're not talking about DeGrayman. We're talking about Sinew, and most importantly, Beelzebub. Now, Sinew, I watched the first season, and I was like, this is okay. So making me laugh without other people around is not the most difficult thing in the world, but it is still pretty difficult because when you're around other people, you pull off of the other people and all that junk. Sinew, when I was alone, made me laugh so hard it hurt. Like actually hurt my stomach because I can't breathe. Uh then season 2 happened and it ended off on that cliffhanger. I was just like, oh, they're not making another season. They're not making another season. And I read the manga. It's a motion comic, whatever the fuck, the motion comic. And it was some good stuff. I enjoyed it. And that's all there is to say on that matter. There's some dark stuff in there. And for both of them, I have screenshots that have been on my Google whatever photos for years. They were just, things that I either thought were funny, and they're very few. There's only like 4 of them or something like that. I don't. But whatever that they were something that impacted me or whatever. But Beelzebub, it got that little bit of edge above Sinew for me. And I really can't explain why it ended up being my favorite over Sinew, because they're both comedic stories that end up being more than all that or whatever. Sinew, I highly recommend, and Beelzebub, I recommend them both. Now here's the thing about Beelzebub. Unlike Sinew, I went to the Beelzebub manga entirely for comedy reasons, not because of a daggone cliffhanger. The show actually ends in Beelzebub. It kind of it changes the way that a certain part of the story happens or whatever in order to create a definite end for the show. But it's whatever. Okay, so I finished Beelzebub, I think 9th, or I finished it. I mean, I don't read a lot, so it took me a while to finish through all of the manga or whatever, but in my loving of this manga so much, okay, I'm just throwing out whole kinds of thoughts or whatever, and I have no organization whatsoever. So, the thing about the difference between the anime and the manga is nothing really happens with the anime. The anime is a comedy. It kind of ends on more of a, substantial thing at the end or whatever, because they feel the need to do that or whatever type thing when it comes to all that junk. But the manga, it's so much more stuff to happen. It's such a small portion of the manga that, it's one of those things or whatever, right? Well, the entire reason that this is my favorite is because of one character. Now, the main character, I love the main character. Well, what is wrong with me? This is okay. Maybe I should actually explain what the fuck this shit's about to those that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So Beelzebub is about a delinquent that finds a demon baby and ends up having to raise it, and a whole bunch of demon shenanigans happen. So the comedy it's just perfect for me, okay? So there's a whole thing when it comes to comedy that I really like. I like dumb characters. I like a specific type of dumb characters, though. I like characters that are so dumb that they break your brain.